have Volcanics for you today. That's something I'm really happy to see. We have our first Fire King showdown, some Kashtira, and generators. You guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You do not see a lot of volcanic decks running around out here, especially when a volcanic deck actually overcomes a Fire King deck in the finals of that very same tournament. Now, what's interesting to me here is we are playing a Horus package in this deck, which means our bad volcanic cards suddenly become good resources. Technically, shells, I mean, that's how much free fodder for the King's Sarcophagus to feed on him to our friends. And then, you know, you can swing on up into a giant trainer and start swinging this little advantage in your, you know, court. And I actually really like that. It's not quite all that crazy, but it does work out here. Now, other interesting things here. We are playing the Snake Eyes package in this deck. Snake Eyes package was Flamberge, going to give you some kind of free real estate for the deck. It also gives you a reason to, you know, take advantage of the Diabellstar package. We've seen how good the Diabellstar stuff actually can be in and in itself, so that's actually something important as well. And of course, you do see that we are playing one copy of Roselia here as well. So basically, if you need to make something unaffected, actually gonna be your best friend here. I mean, considering, I mean, you also can reverse engineer on into the Sinful Spoils Snake Eye for you as well. And we're also playing one copy of good old Blaze Accelerator to get the Volcanic Blaze Accelerators up and running. The deck feels actually kind of cool. I like when you can see all these little moving pieces kind of come together here. Also at 45 cards, we're just playing 2 copies of Emperor. Honestly, I think that's fine. You don't really see a lot of people trying to go too crazy with Emperor. I mean, hell, man, we've seen some builds that are playing 1 Emperor for the most part. So the fact that you do have this diversity amongst the engines actually is pretty cool. So really good to see. Now, our second place list out of that exact same tournament is actually some Fire King good stuff for you here. Now, kind of keep in mind the Fire King structure deck officially goes legal, well, actually, this weekend. It is 100% legal. You can now use it. And basically, we kind of have to rely, since we don't have Poppius and a lot of the other crazy things that kind of make this deck go around, you got to play some substituting engines. And I see this is where you bring in Tanky. You do see Barong seeing some play here. And we are doing a copy of Ash with the Flamberge Dragon. So yes, you still are taking advantage of this. We are playing one copy of Emollination. I do kind of agree with this. I think you're going to see a lot of the one of this sticking around because it helps the deck out so much. Like, it's actually kind of crazy how much value you actually get off this stupid card. And then, of course, 2 copies of the Fire King Island. We're maximizing on triple copies of Sanctuary. In the current iteration of the deck, the triple Sanctuary is actually pretty important for the deck. And, you know, we don't have Bonfire, so, you know, you got to stick around to the tanky side of the engine. Now, you have some interesting little side deck choices down here. Yes, we are playing Dark Hole. Yes, it is a massive board wipe, assist you in taking care of some stupid problems. You also do see that we are playing good old Herald of the Abyss. And we are playing Power Sink Stone down here as a 3 of. Now, this gets very interesting because each time a monster effect is activated, place a counter on this card. The minute the second counter goes on this card, face-up monsters on the field cannot activate their effects, and their effects are negated. And then during each end phase, you remove all spell counters on this card. So basically, you have a skill drain that gets cleared off every single turn, and then it allows you to go ahead and start resolving and doing your thing. This is a really nice tech choice for the deck. So yes, this is Fire Kings. Next up here, we have Kashtira sporting off a mini Snake Eyes package. Now, this actually won, what was it, the Grand Duelist series. And I don't know if a lot of people have kind of realized this yet, but coming off of the Indie Regional, coming off of the Grand Duel series, Kashtira took 2 major victories. I mean, Indy's, what, huge 9-0 finish? And then you have this, you know, grinding out the competition here. I think a lot of people have kind of forgotten, 1, how to play against Kashtira, and 2, how devastating the Unicorn and the Fenrir's are to actually deal with. These cards as huge answers on the field is actually insane. Like, you do need to be aware of how to deal and interact with these. And if you don't know how to handle that, you're going to lose. That's just how it is. Now, obviously, since you're playing Kashtira, you also get to play Shifter. I also think a lot of people forgot how good Shifter is right now. It's actually kind of crazy to me how much value you're able to get off of Shifter right now as well. And then, of course, you get to stack up your extra little materials down here, the Odd Eyes Rebellion on in for the Overlord, and then, you know, you stop by the Giga Turbo Zeus, and then continue to gas through your opponent. Pretty easy stuff. I also see that we are playing one copy of the Sinful Spoils of Subversion Snake Eye as well. So this gives you an immediate out built into the deck, whether or not, you know, you need to search for Silvera, or you do need to search for this. You have a multitude of different range of things for you to be able to handle things. So I actually like that. Also, I mean, your extra deck is just jam-packed with every little utility option in the rank 7 category that you could ever actually want to have. So mission accomplished. Everything, I think, works out incredibly well for the deck, and it's amazing that it managed to get first place. Now, we also have some Runic Generator. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. We've saw a lot of Runic Generator floating around. Like, this has not been a deck that is incredibly new. No. I believe at this point that this deck has multiple regional tops. And that's saying something, because when your format gives you so much chance to mess around with all of these different ideas and things, I think you get to explore some of the cool diversity. And I also see that you're obviously getting a chance to play DD Sprite in here. DD Sprite plus, you know, any generator ever gets you into the Baron de Floor, which is exactly what you want. Also, remember, this deck gets to do all of the stupid craziness in the world because of World Legacy Monstrosity. You know, you just target a level 9 and then you beam out 2 friends for literally free. And then, you know, you're going to overlay them into something else of better material. Interesting things to kind of consider down here for the extra deck, though. The Inner Blafnirs for the hand ripping. You do get a lot of resource management away from your opponent. And that's one of the things I like about this deck is, when you start to get into that scenario where your deck goes, oh, hey, you know, I don't really care about what my opponent's doing, you can start messing them up. And then you do see the Utopic Future and the Draco Future. Yeah, massively power cards that, once again, a deck shouldn't really have access to, but it can. It kind of comes down to, one, how much resource management can we do? Am I going to be able, I mean, basically, 2 Sleipnirs get you off to the races. Also, you know, Monstrosity plus Sleipnir is kind of cute, actually. Once again, it's the interactions, because this card bridges together the 2 lures, is actually super insane. So good stuff for this doing well. And another top 8 list out of that Grand Duelist tournament was actually a Marincess Duelist. Now, Marincess has had a lot of problems this format. I'm not going to lie. Like, it does kind of sit at the table as that rogue deck. Also, I mean, you can wipe boards by locking everything into the water lock, and then your opponent can't really do anything at that point, you know, free board wipe. Also, I mean, the most famous play is to roll out the Aqua Argonaut and then just kind of go on ahead with your day. I also want to point out here that this build has chosen, you know, more board breaking options. You know, we are seeing droplets in here, but you're under Ash, you have the Droll, you have the Imperms to assist you. And also, something else a little bit cheesy here is we are playing double Forbidden Chalice in here as well. So maybe, you know, you get yourself into a situation where, you know, maybe you have to chain a Chalice and then, you know, chain a Droplet to feed off of it, so it will double resolve on something. A lot of really weird interactions that the Droplet can actually give to a Marincess player to actually allow them the chance to kind of overcome, you know, certain matchups. And I think that's a good thing overall. So I like all these decks that we've seen. It proves that we're in a very diverse format. Remember, with diversity, though, does come, you know, you're not going to be able to play for every matchup. You will have bad matchups, all right? But that's just the current state of the game in a nutshell. So please, leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think. If you have seen anything spicy, please feel free to send it on over on social media. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you. Ugh.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.